What's up, you guys? Happy hump day. Happy hump day. Happy hump day. So, we are here to discuss the season finale of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I caught up. We got behind this season. I got caught up. The reunion starts tomorrow night. So, I am, for the most part, I'm caught up. Okay. We're going to probably get behind again because I know I'm not going to probably do the reunion tomorrow night. So, at some point this weekend, we'll get part one. I still don't understand how we getting 3 parts out of this season, but I guess we'll figure it out. Now, what I will say is I probably got more enjoyment out of the last 30 minutes of this episode than I probably have gotten out of the majority of the season. Baby, they done activated Erika Jane. And y'all know I used to love me some Erika Jane. I mean, if y'all go back, that was my girl. I loved me some Erika Jane. And then I kind of got a little bit away from Erika Jane when all that stuff went down with the money and Tom and just her attitude, the way she was handling it. I was like, oh, hell no. I can't do this. I can't do this. But baby, I'm sorry. They don't baby, that's the girl I love. Okay? That's the girl I love. Okay? And she was activated, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there. We start this episode off where we left off. Half the majority of the ladies are at Dorit's book cover reveal party, and Kyle, Erika, and Sutton did not go. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Out of the three of them, Sutton, in my opinion, is the only person that really didn't have no legit reason not to go, other than the fact that she didn't want to. And let's be clear, I support that. In my real life, I support people not going places they don't want to go. I support people saying, you know what? I don't feel like going, and I'm not going to go. Now, in the grand scheme of things, this is their job. This was a group scene. They were supposed to be there. So I think, and I know y'all hate when the reviewers, sort of go behind the break the fourth wall, but I think you guys have to understand how big of a deal this was, that your three of your stars said F it to a group scene at the end of the season. That was a big deal. And I think that's another reason why Dorit was so like, I can't believe they're not here, because she understands them not being there was a big deal. Why do you think? And listen, let's just talk about it. If we're gonna break the fourth wall, let's break the fourth wall. Why do y'all think Erika took her ass over to Sutton's house to have a conversation with the cameras to film, to make sure her ass was still in this episode? See, Erika just not showing up, but Erika and Sutton not showing up and filming a scene together talking about it. Oh, now I'm still gonna make it in this episode. Oh, I'm still giving the cameras something. I'm still producing a scene. I'm still giving y'all something. That wasn't by coincidence. That wasn't by accident. That wasn't by happenstance. That was very calculated. That's coming from veterans in this game that understand, yes, I'm supposed to be at that group scene, but I'm still going to get them something. I'm still going to give them something to put in this episode. I'm still going to give them a moment. And so Erika and Sutton have this conversation. They have cocktails and they talk about why they didn't go. And Erika gives us, this is where we first start seeing the activated Erika, right? This is where, so now, just the same way we are excited for activated Erika, you think production isn't excited for an activated Erika Jane? Hello? Oh, they've been waiting for her. Production said, oh, whoa, wait a minute, you mad? Let's go. We on our way. Oh, you mad? Okay, we got it. Oh yeah, we on our way. Even Kyle gave us a moment, not that she had to, but even Kyle gave us a little scene, with her daughters explaining, listen, at the end of the day, my daughter's getting married in 72 hours and I just don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I got too many other things going. And like she said, look, she says later on in the episode, even if me and Dorit were in a good place, I probably still wouldn't have gone. Now, would she have still showed her face and then left? Probably. But here's where so let's forget about the production side of this. Let's just talk about what we saw. I am so irritated at the only person that didn't, okay, not the only person. I am so irritated with Dorit and Bose. Let me start there. I'm not as irritated with Rachel, and I'm going to tell you why. One, because Rachel is very clear to say, look, I feel how I feel, but I understand that my feelings are based on a 3-month friendship, 10-year friendship. So I have a different perspective. And I respect the fact that she understands that her perspective is different, right? That's number one. The other reason why I'm not really mad, I mean, Rachel didn't really irritate me, is because Rachel didn't act like Dorit and Kyle, like Kyle and Erika, like robbed a bank or something. Rachel was like, they didn't want to come. And she even said to Dorit, well, you and Kyle aren't really in a good place. And Dorit had to sort of take it back. Like you could tell Dorit was kind of taken aback when she said it. Like, she said, well, y'all ain't even really in a good place. So you kind of shouldn't be surprised if she didn't come, because y'all been arguing this whole season. So then that's when Dorit switches gears and says, yeah, but what did I do to Erika? And in my mind, I'm like, see, here's what pisses me off about people like Dorit. And I say this to y'all all the time. I can't let that kind of shit go. If the last time me and Chuck were around each other, we had an argument and it was a nasty argument and we called each other out our name and we went low, we went below the belt and we said some really nasty shit to each other, to the point where Erika Jane was sitting at that table crying. Now, again, we know Erika don't cry. She's sitting at that table crying. And y'all have not spoken to each other since that argument. It would even be different if they had a conversation and they made up. Girl, you haven't talked to them. You have not talked to these women since you got back from Italy. Why would you expect that they don't still feel some kind of way? If I remember correctly, at that dinner table, Kyle said, yeah, I'm done with this friendship. And Dorit and Bose was even like, girl, you don't mean that. And Erika and Kyle was like, yeah, I do. Because I'm not going to work this hard. Like, I'm not going to keep getting beat up. I'm not going to keep getting treated like this. I mean it. I absolutely mean it. I absolutely mean it. Now, Erika could have politely declined. Erika could have sent a message like Kyle did or like Sutton did. But let me ask y'all this. In the grand scheme of things, did it matter? I mean, Kyle sent a message and Dorit still had an issue. Sutton sent a message and Dorit still had an issue. Matter of fact, Sutton tried to call. Dorit didn't answer the phone and then Sutton left a message. So I hear what you were saying, that Erika could have actually called. But did it make a difference for the people that did call? Dorit felt the same way. It didn't change anything. But you're right. She could have called. But again, like she said, I purposely didn't call. I knew what I was doing when I did it. I knew what I was doing when I didn't tell her I wasn't coming. She knew what she was doing. And it was done for the reaction. It was absolutely done for the reaction. It was. Dorit needs Kyle more than Kyle needs Dorito. Well, see, that's the thing. Dorit thinks she doesn't need Kyle anymore because Dorit thinks she's got Rachel, Zoe, and Bose. I said that last week, Quake. She thinks that she's landed a bigger fish. She thinks that Rachel Zoe trumps Kyle. And in the world of celebrity, she does. But on this show, she does not. In the celebrity world, yeah, Rachel Zoe is definitely a bigger deal. But on this show, absolutely not. Let's be honest. If we are mad at someone, we are petty just because we are in our feelings. I don't understand that statement. What you mean? If we are, You mean when people are mad, that means they're petty? I don't understand what you're saying, baby girl. Let's be honest. If we are mad at someone, we are petty just because we are in our feelings. I don't understand that statement. I don't understand that statement. So what I will say though is this. I personally, we can be friends. Like we can talk later and we can work things out on the back end. But honestly, if I'm upset with you, I'm sorry. Can we call a thing a thing? Girl, it is the book cover launch. It ain't the book premiere. It's not the book party. You're not signing books. You're not reading an excerpt. It's not the launch of the book. It is the cover. It's not that. I mean, again, I understand it's that serious for what we're doing. We're filming the show, blah, blah, blah. And then Bo's talking about some. I mean, if you're really so worried about Kyle, about her financial, her financial status, you would think that you would be here for it to be a success. Bros, go sit the fuck down. That's stupid. Because again, we're not going to forget, you're the one that bought up the Kelly bag. You're the one that talked about her spending her advance on a fucking $25,000 purse. You said that. Kyle just agreed. You bought up the Kelly bag. But anyway, you said, okay, Erika not calling Dorit was her being in her feelings. Oh, yeah. Oh, and here's the thing. And here's what I love about Erika Jayne. Erika admitted it. Erika was like, yeah, no. She was like, yeah, I could have called, but I didn't. I didn't feel like it. She's not making any excuses. But I'm going to be honest and tell you, I wouldn't have gone either. If me and you got into an argument to the point where you called me out my name, to the point where we like I said, we were both hitting each other below the belt, to the point where I left that moment in tears and you walked away from me while I was crying and you didn't give a flying fuck and I haven't talked to you since then, why would you expect me to come to your event? You didn't reach out to me to call me. You didn't send me a text. You didn't say, hey, let's talk. Listen, I don't like the way we left things. You were perfectly fine with the way things were until you needed me to be there. That's it. And that's all. You didn't give a damn about mending our friendship because you act like you don't even remember what happened. What did I do to Erika? I just can't imagine what I did to Erika that was so bad. Girl, what? That argument was nasty. And remember, we got the edited version. That was nasty. That was a nasty argument. The fact that she said her new friends have done more for her than I ever had, I wouldn't have attended either. That's the other thing, Cheryl. I think that's the part that, because Erika kept bringing up, you called me a CUNT, you called me a CUNT, but I think we have to remember that's what got Erika activated. When Dorit said, Bose has done more for me in the year that I've known her than anybody at this table has done since I've known them, that is what activated Erika. And I hate the fact that Erika didn't, if she said it, they cut it out. I hate the fact that that wasn't what was said. I hate the fact that Erika just kept saying, you call me out my name, you call me out my name. Well, thank you, Chuck. That's the part that I hated, because that is what got Erika activated. And Dorit insinuating that the only reason why Erika was mad was because she was trying to save her job. So I can't possibly really feel some kind of way. I can't possibly really have an opinion about this. I'm just trying to save my job. And so that's why I'm attacking you. The other thing I hate is that Dorit really truly cannot see how she's treating these people. She only sees their reaction to how she's treating them. And it has to be because Kyle got in their head and Kyle's convincing them to do it. And let me tell you why Dorit, for those of you that have not been following the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and understanding why Dorit is so convinced that Kyle is gathering her troops and that this is all an attack coming from Kyle. For those of you that don't understand why Dorit is so convinced, it's because Dorit was once upon a time one of the people she gathered. We're not going to forget about they called it Fox 5. And it was Dorit and Kyle and Erika, and it would be them, and they would decide who they were going to go after and who their target was. And that is how it rolled. So Dorit, you're so convinced that Kyle is doing it to you because you were part of Kyle doing it to other people. That's why you're so convinced that that's what's happening. Because, see, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. It was cool when they was coming, when you were part of the team attacking Garcelle, attacking what was the other girl that left the show, Minkoff, Camille, Renna, right? It was Renna was the other one. Thank you. Renna was part of the crew too. It was cool when you were part of the crew attacking people, but now that it's coming back on you, that is why you are so convinced that Kyle is rounding up her troops. Because you know that's how Kyle moves. I told you this looks to me like how Kyle got rid of Vanderpump. I don't think Kyle got rid of Vanderpump. Vanderpump quit. But I think I understand what you're saying. And I'm not saying that Kyle is innocent, because y'all know I ain't her biggest fan, okay? So I'm not saying that Kyle is innocent. Please understand that. Please understand that I'm not saying that this woman is innocent. But what I am saying is, Dorit, you act like you have no culpability in this. You act like you've done nothing to this woman, and you have. Now, Amanda says that basically she decided to come because she's a girl's girl and her whole brand is about women empowerment and helping women. And so even though her and Dorit are not in a good place, that's why she decided to come. No problem. Jennifer was there because Jennifer gonna be Jennifer. Jennifer gonna be Jennifer. Dorit, she read her little speech. I ain't listened to it. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I sort of fast forwarded through all of that, child. She cussed out Kyle and she cussed out Erika and she cussed out Sutton. She was so mad that they didn't come. And she not during her speech, before her speech, she cussed them all out. She was so mad. Her kids unveiled the picture, and then of course they spent the rest of the night talking about how great she looked and how wonderful she is, and blah blah blah. Bose told everybody she was engaged, so that was great. Blah blah blah. So the next event we have, because none of the other stuff really matters, child. The next event that we have, because we see Kyle talking about the wedding and where she is with her husband and how she never thought they would be there and blah blah blah. But I feel like that's the same thing Erika. I feel like that's the same thing Kyle's been saying for the last 3 seasons. I just don't see anything different. It's the same thing, child. Yeah. So with that being said, Kathy Hilton is having a garden party. She's launching her daughter Nikki's new jewelry line, which I've seen all over Instagram. And the jewelry pieces actually do look really cute. Now, I ain't clicked on an ad to find out how much they cost because I'm sure they're like Tiffany level prices. So I didn't even click on it. But I did. And the garden party looked beautiful. That baby blue color was everything. And we know that Kathy Hilton knows how to throw a party, honey. So I found it interesting that how the ladies were grouped together in these cars coming. So we had Bose, Dorit, and child, who was in the car with Bose and Dorit? Shit, now I don't remember. But it was Rachel Zoe, Erika, and Kyle. And Rachel Zoe was talking to Erika on the way there, and Rachel Zoe was like, "Well, we were looking for you. Why didn't you come?" Erika said, "Because I didn't want to." I said, "Oh, here we go." Baby, I love how Kathy told us, baby. Kathy said, listen, she said, you got to make sure everything is right, all the way down to having enough toilet paper in the bathroom. I said, I know that's right, Kathy. You better let the people know. And did you see how she talked to her? She told the wait staff, she said, I like your tie. I bought you a bow tie, right? I bought you a bow tie too. That was her way of telling that man to go put a bow tie on because she wanted him to take that tie off. I don't know if y'all caught it, but I caught it. I said, oh, okay. Erika told Rachel Zoe because I didn't feel like coming. She said, but you didn't call? No. I knew then. I said, ooh, here we go. Erika, here we go. I said, here we go. Vanderpump, Gary of Vanderpump, she didn't have to leave. She chose to leave. Yeah, I wouldn't say that Kyle pushed Lisa out. I would say that Lisa chose to leave. Now, her and Kyle obviously had a falling out when she left. And I think Vanderpump was over it. I think she said, I got a whole nother show over here. I'm going to make sure I leave the network in good standing. I'm sure she got on the phone and called Andy or whoever she needed to call and said, listen, I'm done. I'm done. You know, the fact that she was able to keep all of her relationship with the network, but quit mid-season told me all I needed to know. She got on the phone, she made the right phone calls to the right people and had the right conversation. And we didn't see Vanderpump ever again. Now, do I think that Kyle and Lisa might have been able to make up had she stayed on the show? Maybe. But I think she was over it. I think she was done and she was over it. I think she was hurt. Because remember, Dorit came on the show through her. Because PK and her had a relationship. So she brought Dorit on the show. And I think she was hurt by the whole thing, if I'm being honest. But, you know. Vanderpump didn't attend the reunion. I don't think she left on good standing. She left on good standing. When I say she left on good standing, I mean she made the right phone calls to the right people. She didn't just stop coming to the reunion. She stopped filming. That argument when Kyle comes over to the house and Ken is like, "Bye, Kyle." That is the last time Lisa Vanderpump filmed for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That's it, and that's all. We didn't see her the rest of that season. And you're right, she didn't come to the reunion. But the fact that Vanderpump Rules continued to be a show, the fact that she's had, 2 spinoffs since Vanderpump Rules tells me she still has a very good relationship with the network. They did not punish her for that. Which means that, in my opinion, I feel like she got on the phone and she had the right conversations with the right people. That's what I mean when I say left in good standing. You know, and Vanderpump has super long money. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean when I say left in good standing. No, she didn't leave the show. She didn't leave with the ladies in good standing. But she talked to the people she needed to talk to. I think if Lisa Vanderpump wanted to come back to Beverly Hills, I think she can. I think she's very much like a Mary Cosby, that didn't show up for the reunion but was able to come back. I think there's nothing in me that says if Lisa Vanderpump wanted to come back to Beverly Hills, she couldn't come back. She absolutely could come back to Beverly Hills. I believe that 100%. I believe that Garcelle could come back if she wanted to come back. Yeah. I think that I think Garcelle has watched something. I ain't gonna say she's watched every single episode, but I definitely think she's watched. She knows what's going on. Hold on. Damn allergy. Excuse me, y'all. That surprised me because LVP is so strong and tough. I think she remember when all that was going on, she had a death. What was it? Was it her brother had died and he had unalived himself? Remember, Lisa had some stuff going on. And I think she was just like, I don't need this. I just don't need this in my life. That's my opinion. Thank you, Happen. Yeah, I just think she was like, I don't need this. You know? Hold on a second, y'all. I would be interested to see Mayloff. I actually liked her. I watched the first season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and then I kind of fell off for like the next 2 or 3 years, and then I came back. What season did I start watching again? I think I watched the first 2 seasons, and then I fell off. When I came back, Erika was already on the show. I missed Erika Jayne's like first season, I think. I think I came back. It was either her second or her third season. Yeah, Garcelle and Jennifer Tilly are cool. Yeah, they do. They talk. They're cool. Andy asked Garcelle, and she said maybe if Erika isn't there. She looked dead at the camera, and yeah, her brother. Yeah, her brother had passed away. So anyway, so let's get to the garden party, because the other stuff in the middle doesn't matter. Like I said, we saw Kyle with her daughters talking about the wedding. It was great. We saw a scene where Dorit is talking to Rachel Zoe, but all she's saying is, I can't believe they didn't come, and blah, 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 child, whatever. So we get to the garden party, and I found it very interesting that the last 2 people to arrive was Dorit and Bose. Did y'all pay attention that everybody else was there? Everybody else was seated. Everybody else was ready. And so I think it was Kyle that said, Where's Dorit? Is she coming? That was Kyle's way of letting everybody know. Y'all see she late again, right? Y'all notice she's late. She ain't here. We're all here. We're all ready. We done all had drinks. We all made our rounds, and we done our entrances, and we've done all of the things. Y'all notice she not here, right? That, I'm sure, I feel like that was intentional. I feel like that was Kyle's way of saying. So everybody gets there, and they all sit together, and Dorit, Dorit cracks me up because she always plays victim. I noticed. So look at that lion's den over there. You think I'm intimidated by that lion's den? I'm not intimidated by that lion's den over there. I don't care anything about that lion's den. They don't look like a bunch of lions to me. I'm not scared. I don't care. Look at Kyle has her little minions surrounding her and all. I was like, Dorit, let me say this. I really, truly hope. I really, truly hope that Dorit looks back on these last 2 seasons and really understands how nasty of a person she became. When Rachel Zoe is gone, because I question whether Rachel Zoe is coming back or not. She may, but I question it. Don't know if she'll be back next season. When Bose is done with her, the people that are going to be left is going to be Kyle and Erika. They spent the first 2 seasons talking about Taylor and her abusive husband. The next 2 seasons talking about Adrian Moloff versus Vanderpump, and I was Team Vanderpump. Okay, so I missed. Those are the seasons I missed. I saw the first 2 seasons. I remember Taylor and all of that. I wasn't there. When I left, Maloff was on the show. When I came back, she was gone. So I missed whatever those seasons were in the middle. Those are the seasons that I missed. Yeah, those were the seasons that I missed. So, Amanda Rowe with Sutton. So when Amanda and Sutton came together. I'm just trying to, I know I said this out of order already. So the ladies are sitting down, and of course, the tension is there. Nobody said anything. So finally, Kyle says, can I say something? And I just wanted to scream, no. I wanted to scream, no. Don't say anything. Sometimes, you know what? In education, there's something they teach us in education. We talk about, I miss Carlton the Witch. Oh, you mean like on the show? Yeah. If that's somebody that was on the show, yeah, I missed it. I missed that season. It was probably about 3 seasons that I missed, because that was before. I mean, obviously that was before I was doing reviews, and it wasn't something I had put like in my DVR. Like, it wasn't like must see TV for me. Like, I would catch it if I was home, kind of thing. But anyway, so there's this thing, like I said, this is thing in education where they teach you not to rush to fill the empty space. Like if I ask my students a question, a lot of times teachers are so nervous, and this is something I teach because I train teachers as well. This is something I teach teachers to say, it's okay. Stand in that, you got to stand in that silence. Give kids time to process the question. Don't just be so quick, and don't be so quick to call on the first person to raise their hand, right? Because, that wait time, there you go. Because generally the first person to raise their hand is probably the same first person that always raised their hand. Give everybody a minute. Give your kids time. And I feel like that was a moment. Kyle, it didn't need to be you. It could have been Erika. It could have been Sutton. Hell, it could have been Kathy. It didn't need to be you. Because at the end of the day, you know that whatever you say, Dorit jumps on it. Dorit pounces on it. Whatever you say, Dorit goes, "Arr!" And she pounces on it. Why are you giving her that? Why are you giving her that moment? So Kyle says, can I say something? Because of course they asked her, how was the event, blah, 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 blah. So Kyle says, listen, clearly you were pissed off that we weren't there. She was like, yeah, I was upset. She said, and to be honest, even if me and you were good, it still would have been a struggle for me because I do have the wedding. I do have a lot of things going on, and I honestly am exhausted right now. She said, but we're not in a good place. So I honestly don't even understand why you're upset that I wasn't there. So the two of them get to arguing about the same shit. Because again, I feel like, and that's why I don't understand why we have a 3-part reunion. Because I honestly feel like it's been the same argument between Kyle and Eric, Kyle and Dorit. It's been the same argument all season. And I'm exhausted with the argument. And once again, Kyle, you keep talking about everybody. And what Dorit is saying is, I don't care about everybody. I want to know why you. Now, from Kyle's perspective, I understand why she's emphasizing everybody, because she wants you to understand, Dorit, that this isn't just coming from me. This isn't a solo situation. This isn't just a solo thing. Everybody feels the same way. Everybody's saying the same thing. And then Dorit says, but you had a conversation with this person, and you had a conversation with that person, and you had a conversation. And she was like, wait a minute. Why does it have to be that I had the conversation with these people? Why can't it be those people had the conversation with me? And she was like, because you're the common denominator. She said, because I'm the one bringing it to you. It's not that I'm going and soliciting these conversations with people. These are conversations that we're having. And then Kyle finally says, can somebody please speak up? Now, Bo says, I don't feel like it's my place to say nothing. Rachel says, I don't feel like I know this situation well enough to say nothing. Erika speaks up and says, no, she's not wrong, right? She's not wrong. We all feel the same way. And of course, Sutton, once Erika says something, then Sutton says something. Child, Sutton is such a non-factor in this. So, right, let it, and that's what I'm saying with Kyle. Like, girl, let it go. Because it doesn't matter what you say. Dorit is going to hold on to what you say. Bose know damn well she was chatting about her finance. Exactly, V-Spin. And that's the shit. That's why I can't respect Bose. Because Bose, even when Bose said it, she tried to make it seem like it was still Kyle. Like, well, I mean, yeah, I did da-da-da-da-da. But, no, it ain't no but, girl. You did. Period. End of conversation. You did. ... That's it. So, why don't Bravo penalize Dorit for lateness like they did Robin? More of the rhetorical question, because I don't know that we know the answer. Well, I don't know that we don't know that they haven't docked her. We don't know that. It clearly hasn't stopped her from being late. I mean, that's the same thing with Quad. It ain't stopped Quad from being late, and we know they've docked Quad's pay, and it ain't stopped her ass from being late. I got a theory about Kyle and this whole Dorit situation, but it's too long to type, and it has nothing to do with Dorit. Okay. Bose was looking like Phaedra at the table when they brought up the lesbian rumor. Right. She was sitting there like, Both ain't got nothing to say last season. She was all up in the mix with Garcelle having an issue with certain people. Child. Baby, it's not Friday. Family girl. Baby, it's not Friday. I wish it was Friday, but it's not Friday. Baby girl talking about some happy Friday. Excuse me. Nope. I didn't hear anything about Shamia and her husband. So then Dorit says, well, Erika, I want to know, like, I don't, that, like, I'm not understanding why you didn't come. And Erika was like, because I didn't want to. She said, I didn't want to. She's like, what do you mean? She was like, well, I heard, and we know who said it. We know Bose told you. Well, I heard it's always Friday since you retired. Well, I'm not there yet, baby girl. I want to be there with you, but I ain't there yet. She says, well, I heard that you were trying to get my attention. Erika said, I was, and I did. I got it. I said, oh, Dorit is not ready for this. Baby, Dorit was like, she said, well, Erika, I don't understand. Like, what? I understand that we, why you wouldn't come. Like, where are we? So that to the point where you didn't feel like you could, you would come. And she said, what are you talking about? She said, the last conversation we had, you were calling me out my name. You hit below the belt. And then I haven't talked to you since. Why would I come? Why do you think I would come? And she was like, well, I feel like, I don't understand because, with our friendship, Erika was like, yeah, you right. You wouldn't understand because our friendship. She was like, we have been good friends to you. And she said, you left me at the town. You won't let me talk. You put your hands in my face. She said, I'm not doing this with you. She said, you're not gonna treat me like that. That's not. And then and then Dorit tried to bucket her. She was like, you're not gonna talk to me like that, baby. Did you see Dorit? Dorit was like, Erika said, She said, no, we can have a conversation, but you're gonna bring that down a little bit, bitch. Dorit was like, you can literally see Dorit shrink. You can literally see Dorit shrink when Erika said, you're not gonna talk to me like that. You're gonna bring that down, bitch. I said yes. Yes. That's what I wanted to see, baby. And notice that Bose ain't had shit to say to that. Bose didn't tangle with that one. Bose let baby Dorit was by herself with that one. Ain't nobody getting that one, baby. They sat back like this. Dorit was like, Erika, that is just so cold. Like, what? That is so cold. She was like, you right. I'm cold. You right. She's like, well, I just can't believe that you wouldn't even call. She's like, I didn't want to. I didn't feel like I owed you that. I didn't feel like I owed you a phone call. I didn't feel like, baby, and Erika didn't even break a sweat, baby. Erika didn't even break a sweat. Do you hear me? Dorit didn't know what to do with it. Dorit didn't know what to do with it. Erika was like, she said, Dorit gonna say, well, I feel like I need to take some time. Erika said, take all the time you need. She said, you do that. Dorit said, because I just need time to process this. She said, do what you got to do. Baby, I was here for all of that. Do you hear me? I was here for all of that. Dorit did not know what to do. She didn't have a comeback for Erika, baby, because Erika was like, she said, you take the time you need. You do that. You process, girl. You do that. Then here comes Sutton ass. I said, this damn Sutton. Next thing I knew, Dorit then jumped up and walked away. She said she needed to go get her a drink, honey. And she done walked away. Because she could not get nowhere with Erika. She couldn't get nowhere with that. The way she had been bulldozing Kyle all season, baby, she realized she wasn't going to be able to do that. She realized she wasn't going to be able to get Erika the way she'd been getting Kyle all season. And she just kind of let that thing go. She got up and ran off to go get herself a drink, baby. And ain't nobody chase her except for Bose. Kyle didn't chase her. Erika didn't chase her. And nobody go running up there except for Bose. And Bose act like she didn't even want to go. I feel like production told her, go on up there and go talk to that woman. Because Bose was like, damn, I gotta walk up these steps. She act like she didn't even want to go. Yeah, I saw that half pin. I saw that child. She act like she didn't even want to go, honey. Lord, I got my door open. I think some pollen might be coming in the house, child. Let me close my door. I'll close my door in a minute. Now, this is the part that irritated me. Here goes Sutton. Sutton gonna go up to talk to Dorit. And she gonna say, Dorit, I really want to talk about what happened at Rachel's party. I just don't understand why you talk to me the way you talk to me. I mean, you said that you were gonna hate me the rest of your life. She was like, girl, it was a joke. Like, it wasn't that serious. It was just a joke. It was just a joke. And I was really team Dorit on this one. I was really team Dorit on this one. Because until to a point at the beginning, because I was like, Sutton, girl, your issue is not that deep. Your issue is not as big as the other lady's issue. The fact that you done went over there and now you want to have this one-on-one moment with Dorit. Dorit is clearly not here for it. Okay. Now here's where I turn left. Because Dorit, when you said you don't matter to me, this doesn't matter to me, now you being dismissive and you're being rude. And like Dorit said, like Sutton said, do you not see this? Do you not see how you're talking to me right now? She said, girl, I don't care. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how I'm talking to you. This is not important to me. This does not matter to me. I don't care about none of this. And I said, because Sutton, she really don't care about you. She really doesn't care about you, Sutton. She's upset about Erika and she's upset about Kyle. She really doesn't care that you didn't come. She doesn't care that you're mad at her. She doesn't care that you feel some kind of way. And to be perfectly honest, like I said with last episode, Sutton, I understand why Dorit got irritated with you, because you really did come at Dorit like she owed Kyle an apology. Like, you didn't come at Dorit to say, hey, have y'all talked? Have y'all made up? You came at her like an apology was owed to you. To Kyle. So I understand Dorit's frustration, but that response, Dorit, that was a lot. That was a lot. That was hurtful. And I can understand, but Sutton, girl, you should have never walked up on her, because you had to know that conversation wasn't going to go well. Like, you had to know that that conversation wasn't going to go well. Dorit is going to be off the show messing with Kyle. Sutton was just trying to have a moment. I agree. Yeah. And baby, that was the finale. Okay. I still don't know how we getting 3 weeks out of this, but they're gonna drag this shit out for 3 weeks. But I promise you, 80% of it is gonna be Kyle and Dorit, and I don't care about none of it. I don't care about Bose and what she got going on. I thought I watched all the episodes, but it looks like I missed this one because none of this is familiar to me. Oh, this came on last Thursday. Yeah. All right, y'all. We getting ready to go into a tribe meeting. We're gonna get into this tribe meeting. It ain't a lot to talk about, but I haven't talked to y'all in a couple of days, and I'm not doing one tomorrow night either. So let me come in here and talk to the people over on the other side. I'm about to go close my door and all that stuff, and then we'll get started. I think I have it scheduled for like 6:30, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I do have the redirect on. But y'all know how that goes. Sometimes sometimes it sends you over, sometimes it doesn't. So, all right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. I'll see y'all in about 5 minutes. Peace.